The battlefield's enormous. Its size makes the polar bear a perpetual nomad, trekking 15 miles a day and up to 5,000 a year on ice that's constantly moving. Our story starts down there in the ice and snow. It's spring, and a new life is about to see daylight for the first time. But not until this female tests the air. She's been holed up for nearly 6 months, and she doesn't know what's out there now. There could be danger, and she has something precious to protect. When she went into the den last winter, she was 50% heavier and alone. But she's not alone now. She has a cub. One cub. It's his first experience of the wider world. The first moments away from the warm, dark safety of the den. He was born in January, just over 3 months ago. The world he came into was small and cramped. He had fur, but his eyes were closed. He wasn't any bigger than a guinea pig.
For the first time in 5 months, this mother polar bear sticks her nose into the open air here in the Svalbard Islands of Norway. She's sniffing the air because, well, I mean, if you've been living in the dark for 5 months, your eyes would sure as heck take time to adjust to the light. She's also checking for predators, because now she's got not one, but 2 cubs to protect. Hello, world. Notice how closely Mom looks after her babies. Talk about vigilant. Over half the cubs born here die in the first year, often killed by adult male polar bears. Now the cubs are growing fat on Mom's milk, but Mom herself hasn't eaten in 5 months and is getting thinner by the day. Is it time to go on the hunt? Well, maybe one last nap in the lair. "10 days after they first poke their noses into the frigid air, Mom leads the way. They'll never return to that den. They've got lots of important stuff to learn in the world. Well, like for example, what we like to call lair crashing. Lair crashing is where Mom teaches the kids how to jump up and down on the ice so they can break through to eat the seal pups below. But isn't this just like kids? They forget the lesson and start horsing around with a reindeer leg. In fact, pretty soon they've got a reindeer carcass. They haven't yet learned not to play with their food. We could pretend we're showing you this stuff to educate you on how polar bear moms subtly initiate their young into the rites of predation through tomfoolery. Okay, that's part of it, but, well, mostly we're showing it to you because it's so gosh darn cute. But all good fun must eventually come to an end. Mom rolls in the snow, which is how polar bears dry off. Of course, getting the cubs to stop cavorting, well, good luck on that.
It's March, and light returns to the high Arctic, sweeping away 4 months of darkness. A polar bear stirs. She has been in her den the whole winter. Her emergence marks the beginning of spring. After months of confinement underground, she toboggans down the slope, perhaps to clean her fur, perhaps for sheer joy. Her cubs gaze out at their bright new world for the very first time. The female calls them, but this steep slope is not the easiest place to take your first steps. But they are hungry and eager to reach their mother, who's delayed feeding them on this special day. Now she lures them with the promise of milk, the only food the cubs have known since they were born, deaf and blind beneath the snow, some 2 months ago. Their mother has not eaten for 5 months and has lost half her body weight. Now she converts the last of her fat reserves into milk for her cubs. The spring sun brings warmth, but also a problem for the mother. It starts to melt the sea ice. That is where she hunts for the seals she needs to feed her cubs, and she must get there before the ice breaks up. For now, though, it's still minus 30 degrees, and the cubs must have the shelter of the den.
You're the scene manager. Just
Recorders on.
Oh man, we got her.
Recorders are on.
You might even see, there she is. I can see her moving. I'm pretty sure.
Boy.
Do you see the 2 ears and the nose looking at us?
Oh,
You can
yeah,
see
there
her.
she is. There she is.
There's the
She's
bear.
looking out.
Oh, sweet.
Excellent, Pete.
That is a fresh dug in.
Yeah, I can see it reflecting into the hole and bouncing around into the lasers, illuminating the
Pete,
hole.
Pete, shut the laser illuminator off.
It's almost